My 34th birthday was never meant to be extravagant. Just a quiet evening downtown, a cozy dinner with close friends and my wife, Mia. I wasn't expecting grand gestures or surprises. I never have. All I truly wanted was one night, one simple moment where I felt seen, valued by the person who once claimed to love me more than anything. That shouldn't have been too much to ask. The evening began well enough. Mia wore the blue dress I'd always adored on her, the one that used to make my heart skip when she'd catch me looking. She smiled softly as she handed me a neatly wrapped box with a new watch inside and pressed a quick kiss to my cheek. For a brief moment, I let myself believe we might be okay. That maybe we'd turned a corner. Things have been strained between us lately. More silence and conversation, more time staring at screens and into each other's eyes. But I clung to hope of a man clinging to a raft in a storm. The restaurant was dimly lit and warm, filled with a gentle hum of jazz and a quiet murmur of clinking glasses and whispered laughter. I was halfway through my second drink when he walked in, tall, self-assured, with that smug little smirk I'd seen once or twice in passing. His name was Trevor. He worked with Mia. I hadn't invited him. She had. I knew it before she said a word. The way her face lit up when she saw him, the gleam in her eyes I hadn't seen directed at me in months. It said everything. She stood and embraced him a little too long, laughed a little too easily, hung on his every half-charming, half-obnoxious comment, as if he were the center of the universe. I tried to mask the discomfort clawing inside me, forced smiles, sipped my drink slower, tried not to notice the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when he spoke, how she leaned in too close, her hand brushing his arm like it meant nothing. But it meant something. My own birthday, the one night I should have felt important, faded quietly into the background, replaced by the soft buzz of their private energy across the table. Even my friends noticed. One of them looked at me with concern, the kind that doesn't need words. I nodded back, lips tight, pretending everything was fine. But it wasn't. The final blow came when the cake arrived, candles glowing, people singing softly around me. I turned to Mia, expecting her to take my hand, to say something heartfelt, anything, but she wasn't even looking at me. She was leaning in close to Trevor, whispering something that made her giggle like a teenager in the back row of a classroom. It felt like a slap I never saw coming. I blew out the candles quietly, wishing for something I already knew I wouldn't get. Then I sat back in a daze, the laughter and lights melting into a distant blur. 10 minutes later, I stood, excused myself with a quiet smile, and walked out into the night. No one stopped me. Mia didn't even notice I'd left. The cold air hit like a reset button. I felt hollow and strangely weightless, as if something heavy inside me had finally snapped free. I didn't leave a note. I didn't send a text. I just went home, packed a small bag, and by sunrise, I was gone. I didn't flee across the country, just far enough. A friend had a small cabin outside the city, nestled by trees and quiet water. That's where I went. No notifications, no noise, just the stillness I hadn't felt in years. Her betrayal hadn't been dramatic or explosive. It was worse. It had been slow, subtle, and deeply humiliating, like 1,000 tiny cuts, brushed off as coincidences, until I finally bled out. 3 days passed before her messages started. Where are you? Why did you leave? Can we talk? I read them, then set the phone down without a response. It wasn't cruelty. It was clarity. I had already heard everything I needed to the way she laughed with him, in her complete disinterest in me, in the coldness that had replaced affection. A week later, a handwritten letter arrived, apology scrawled in rushed ink, laced with excuses. She blamed the alcohol, the pressure of work, the stress of keeping up appearances. She said she never meant to hurt me, that it was nothing serious, a moment of weakness. But nowhere in those paragraphs was the truth I needed to see. No accountability, no real remorse, just regret for getting caught. She missed me, or maybe just the comfort of me, the version of me who had once forgiven, once overlooked, once stayed. That man didn't exist anymore. I filed for divorce quietly. No public declarations. No dramatic scenes. My friends were stunned at first, but supportive, "You handled it better than I ever could," one of them told me. "Maybe," I replied. Or maybe I just got too tired to fight for someone who gave up on me long before I ever left. Months passed. I saw a photo online, Mia and Trevor at some corporate event, arms around each other, smiling wide for the camera, like nothing had ever happened. It didn't sting. Not like I thought it might. It felt like confirmation. That walking away had been the best gift I'd ever given myself. Now, I celebrate my birthdays differently. No crowds. No performances. Sometimes a road trip. Sometimes a hike through the mountains. Sometimes just me, a strong cup of coffee, and a quiet morning by the window. I don't need extravagance. I just need honesty, peace, and the promise that I will never again be an afterthought at my own celebration. Mia messaged me one last time not long ago. Just a single line. "I didn't realize what I had until you walked away." I stared at the screen for a moment. Then I turned it off.